For the first time in NFL history, two teams are undefeated at the start of Week 13. Lucky or unlucky 13 for those two perfect clubs, the Saints and the Colts. And how about running the table even? Here to talk odds on the perfect clubs, we bring in RJ Bell, founder and CEO of pregame.com and a professional odds maker as well. RJ, let's start with the odds. What are the odds that Indianapolis goes undefeated in the regular season?
Well, according to Las Vegas, the odds of that are only 28%. And that was a three-step process for us to calculate that. First, we figured how big of a favorite the Colts would be in each of the remaining 5 games. Then we figured what were the percentage chances of them winning each of those games. And then finally, the chances of them winning every remaining game.
All right, so 28%, is that right?
That's exactly right.
How about New Orleans? What's their percentage?
They're actually less at 21%. Now, when most people hear these numbers, their first instinct is, wow, there must be a better chance than that. But what happens every year is NFL fans tend to overestimate the likelihood that undefeated teams will stay that way. And if you think about it, it's only happened one time in the 16-game season.
Well, and the one interesting thing, the victory of margin, 17 points per game for New Orleans and just 11 for the Colts. So the softer schedule seems to give Indy the run to edge the table. Not that it's a big lead. What about head-to-head? Who does Vegas like between these clubs?
Yeah, you make a good point. Actually, Vegas considers the Saints to be the better team. If they played, New Orleans would be favored over Indy. Now, both of these teams are expected to be favored in every remaining game. But because the Colts have the softer schedule, they have the better mathematical chance of finishing the season perfect.
Now, this is an interesting one because I think a lot of people would like to see this. What are the odds of both teams going undefeated and thus they would face each other in the Super Bowl at 18-0?
Okay, so the odds are about 50% that one of these teams are going to make the Super Bowl. About 12% that both teams make the Super Bowl. And the least likely of all is both teams finish undefeated and face off in the Super Bowl, and that's only about 1% chance.
Wow. Understandably, a huge jump from them both getting there to both getting there and being undefeated in it. Let's expand this a little bit. Who are the top 5 favorites to win the Super Bowl, and give us their odds if you can?
Okay, so the Saints are the overall #1 right now, and they're projected to have a 20% chance to win it all. Number 2, the Colts at a 16% chance. Number 3, Minnesota Vikings with Brett Favre at a 13% chance. Number 4, the Patriots, an 11%. And number 5, the Chargers at an 8%. Now, what's interesting is if you add up the top 5, there's a 68% chance that one of those 5 teams is going to be the next Super Bowl champion.
We will find out soon enough. RJ, thanks for all the info. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.